Morning everybody, welcome to my presentation. This is BPT orientation. We're going to orientate you about BPT module. The module consists of 3 components: the ICT components, the content specialist, and the student support component. In the next slides, I'm going to explain each of the components and their roles in BPT. The ICT components, they are responsible for site creation. There are different sites that are happening. They create different group sites. We've got the main site and the group site. They are also responsible for student groupings. When they group students, to show that you are grouped, you'd have a number, and then this number will be followed by a letter T. For those that are not yet grouped, please bear with us. You'll be grouped and then you'll access the material. They are also responsible for technical support. In this instance, sometimes you are grouped, but your group site does not show. So you send us an email, then we'll link them with you so that you ultimately can access your group site. This is an example of my UNISA different sites. When you log in, this is what you see. This is the site, different sites for BPT. And then the next slide will explain each of the sites that make a component of BPT. We've got the main site. Because to see that the main site is being opened, it's an orange color there. The quadrilateral there indicate that that is the main site that is opened. And on the left-hand side there you have the tools that you can use for this main site. And then you've got the site info learning units. And in this site, it's where we communicate with you as students. The tool that we usually use is the announcement, because we know that if you only access this site, you are not yet grouped. Therefore, it's announcement on how is BPT, and then what's going to happen with BPT. That's what we do. We announce. Those are the announcements that we issue to you. To show that this is the site that we've opened, it's highlighted in orange, and then that is the quadrilateral indicating that that site is opened. And you have also tools on your left-hand side. These are the tools that you're going to use when you'll be studying BPT. You have the announcement. In this site, we that are coordinating BPT are not responsible for putting announcement on the group site. The teaching assistant is responsible for putting announcement, and therefore announcements that are put in the group site are put by the uploaded by the teaching assistants. You have a discussion tool. We're back to the slide. On the tools on the left-hand side, there's a discussion tool. It's just that I'm very far from.
That's a tool.
Oh, yeah, that's the discussion tool.
Yeah, that's a tool.
Aha. On the discussion tool, immediately you are grouped. You go to the discussion tool. You click on that tool. You will find topics there. The first topic is assignment 1. That's where you're doing your assignment 1. The assignment 1 is a discussion assignment. You'll be discussing together with your fellow students. And the second topic there is introduction. In that topic, you are going to introduce yourself. You tell your fellow students who you are, what are your interests, maybe why are you doing BPT. You want your friends to know why, because that will motivate you. In that introduction, it's a way of orientating you to communicate in an online environment. We know that you communicate through WhatsApp, you communicate through Facebook, but what you communicate through WhatsApp and Facebook, it's not academic. You communicate social things with friends and families. So now we want you to communicate in a more academic way, where in you are learning amongst yourselves. In that case, you know if somebody has introduced themselves, I know them, and then they've got same interest as mine. Therefore, we can continue the relationship. That is the group side. So the TAs are responsible for managing the group side. We don't put anything there. Every announcement that you get from the group side, it's announced by the TA. It means they were requested to announce it on our behalf. For students that are not grouped, because if we make announcement, you remember we said we would make announcement on the main site, because we know that they cannot access the group site. Those are the different UNISA sites that you would use, that you would access concerning BPT. And now we go to the second part of our UNISA module for BPT. I said the first one is ICT. We're done with ICT. Now the second part are the content specialists or the lecturers. Lecturers' responsibility, what we do, we develop the learning units. The learning units that you are accessing in your group site are developed by the lecturers. And then we develop assessment and marking tools. The assignments that you are writing and the feedback that you get from your teaching assistant based on the marked assignment, all those are developed by the lecturers. And we also support teaching assistants while they are also helping you in learning BPT. So we also support them so that at least they should guide you in the correct way. Now the third component, which is the student support. This is where the teaching assistants are. Their major role is to deliver content. In delivering content, they upload assignments. They guide you on how to go about assignments. They also help you to interpret those assignments. But you're not supposed to ask from them so that they can give you the answers to those assignments. They would guide you, but they will never give you answers. And please don't tempt them. And also they control your assessment. That means they mark your assessment, they give you feedback of those assignments. And then the other thing, they respond to queries, and UNISA policy is that student queries should be responded to within 24 hours time. So if you send a query, don't expect the TA to respond to you within 5 minutes. You need to wait at least 24 hours. Then you can make a follow-up after 24 hours. And thank you very much for this presentation. If there are any questions are welcome now. It's time for you to ask questions. Questions?
Yes, what's the correct person to contact when BPT students are not yet group, ma'am?
The correct contact is us, because we liaise with ICT to say we have these students that are not grouped. The thing is, we need 200 students to form a group. So like if you have registered and most of the students have been grouped, but you find that you're still 100, they will wait for other 100 students to register so that they could group you. That's why we have this thing of extending assignments, so that at least those that are group late are given a fair chance to participate.
Thank you so much for the response. It's just a question that I want to ask you. You looked at the three interrelated pillars, the ICT, the content, and the student support. And I'm the regional academic coordinator that deals with student support or learner support. And I'm also in charge of the UNISA online writing center that is in the UNISA brochure. But first of all, before I get to my question, I'd just like to thank you for your presentation. I want to ask you a question, and this is on diversity of the students. And And some performed very well in terms of the assessment throughout. But then when they get the exam results, it's like 10% and 15%, which brings me to the conclusion that some of the skills and the attitudes and the knowledge that they needed to acquire was not consolidated. I think a lot of students struggle to write for the online environment, as you alluded to, and because it takes a different type of writing and a different type of knowledge. And I just want to ask whether it's possible that our writing center can work very closely with you in consolidating those skills. What the students are struggling with, whether it's writing introductions, writing, expanding on the body, using index referencing, because these are critical skills, especially for an educator. And that is where I want to work very closely with you as a lecturer, as well as to get your input in order to make it much more smoother for the student to relate to this module and to find it enjoyable as well.
Okay, I think we would see how we can work through that, so that how do we collaborate together, so that ultimately our students are benefiting from our collaboration. There's no problem in that.
Thank you so much for that.
I just wanted to give you context that we have colleagues from Cape Town and colleagues from George, and then we have one colleague from the South Cape College who are attending. We are not students, so we wanted this workshop with you, or this meeting with you, so that we could have a better understanding of what BPT is about, so that when we support students, we understand what are your requirements and how does the module work online. So I just wanted to give you that context.
Okay.
And hence I'm asking you those questions about collaboration.
Okay. Okay. Any more questions from Paro?
I just quickly want to find out, I heard there's going to be, the module is changing next year. Is it going to become a year module, or is it going to be still the same?
It's still a semester module, but although the tools are going to change, we're not going to use the learning tool, we're going to use the lesson tool, but that would orientate our student when we do that next year.
Okay, so the numbers from student admin almost sounded that some of the students said that it's going to be changed completely, so they're stressed to get it done this year.
Yeah.
That's good to know. Thank you.
Okay. Questions from George?
We are fine, thank you, Ms. Moila.
Okay.
I just wanted to check in with you, and I want to say that we have digital learning advisors here who offer, in collaboration with JAB, who offer students digital learning workshops. It's not only about access to my visa, but we also cover the Office 365 with a very basic level. And I think one of the questions that came up, and the DLS must assist me here, was that they're not always sure what type of skills are required within the BPT module itself. For social work, for example, we know students need to know PowerPoint and mathematics. We just want to know from you if you can give us, and we do understand, and as you've explained, this is an online model, they must make use of teaching assistants. So we're not looking at the module-specific requirements, we're looking at what skills do they require to be successful in this model, and I think that is what Jacques was alluding to. And if you could give us a bit of guidance as to what type of skills you think we need to cover when we invite them to workshops.
Okay, I think the digital skills that we need from our students is emailing skills. That's very important, because usually when they send queries, sometimes you can hardly understand what's going on. Also, they need to know how to use different platforms. For example, we have assignments on PowerPoints, we have assignments on Word document where they write and convert them to PDFs. They have assignments wherein they are publishing things on YouTube. So there are different digital skills that they need to do. And I'm thinking of having maybe a recorded YouTube video, link it so that they could know what is expected of them by watching those in parts. Part 1, maybe it might be PowerPoint, part 2 might be emailing, part 3, all those kind of things in future.
And so then you will be sharp at least viewing rights to those resources that you can also join?
Yes, then I will just unpack those from the academic literacy side and send it back to you just for you to okay it, because I want the Southgate College as well as my colleague in charge of community learning also to know what to share with students in terms of the support that we're going to work very closely with. So would it be okay for me to unpack those skills a little bit more in terms of academic writing and academic reading and just send it through to you just to peruse?
Can you repeat your question?
The skills that students need, you alluded to the fact that they need emailing skills, the use of different platforms, making use of PDFs and how to publish things on Moila for them to make it accessible for the teaching assistant. Now I'm just asking whether I can just look into the academic literacy component of it. On how to construct an email, for example, how to write dear Miss or dear Professor, and not to use the necessary etiquette in order for students to make their words to you much more clearer in what they want. When it's possible that I can unpack those and just send it through to you to say that I'm going to invite all of the students just to unpack the following, that their writing needs to be accessible to the lecturer to understand. They need to be clear to the teaching assistant what it is that they need, and all of those finer things that people never teach you.
I will appreciate that. I think we can collaborate on that.
We're with you, Ms. Moila.
Oh, you're fine. I thought you were asking a question.
There's somebody else in Cairo who's mumbling, I think.
Oh, okay. Okay.
From my side, I just want to thank Ms. Moila for the time. And I think your meeting was very useful. And I hope we can have more regular contact sessions via BC with you like this, ma'am, just to check in and touch base on where this module, we've got problems or challenges we might have, and how we can foster close collaboration with you on it. So thank you so much for your time.
You're welcome. Thank you very much also for your participation.
Yes, thank you from our side too.
Thank you too.
Will you, if Jacques writes to you, would you mind to send us a presentation that you presented for our...
Yes, it's recorded. I think I'll better just send you the link so that you can access it. Yeah. I can just send you the link, then you access it.
Yeah.
Okay.
That would be great. Thank you so much appreciated.
My pleasure.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you, colleague.
Thank you, bye.